Mahama is the hope. He's the hope. He's the hope for nation Ghana. Radio Yamobo said the other year. I was a former Munya Mako about the Ghana and 70 TV SONA. Said the Munya Munim the friend Mr. President. But homebody so be like it or be subscribe. Na what share with thoughts because channel radio eh mo na mo dia ye na ye dia som mo madaroma na ye fa ne se pepepe na the nation builder JDM no be pacho 1 million jobs mo nya bia ya na Yera Mahama say within 9 months now will take you over no o create 1 million jobs 1 million jobs. And as I say, Ghana is getting better. This is the Ghana they want. Is this the Ghana that you've always wanted to see? It's when your mind and the be our bomb person rather than your mind in a way. And I say Ghana for baby. For you see, all jokes aside, I think we must speak truth to issues. You hempen you for when you hate to me and you kind of crutched it to me. I say no more up your mom shall pay and this if no. Aside say o mom penokore no. Almost said them mom kwa mutim no almost ha penokore. Aside say mom penokore no. Ko said them no mom kwa omo ho no na omo side chicks ni omo nche omo wife ni omo nche omo mani omo nche na almost ha penokore no. Nti haya no mo hwe. But for some kaya 2025 after 7 January, so a Mahama in Nana or Pamo minimum of 15,000 Ghanaian workers. A more public sector name. I repeat, 15,000 of Ghanaian workers. Or Pamo, if we say Omodie, Omonia Ghana for Papa. Ozo Omodie, Omboni Omayane say NPP for the 4 Mojuma. Now, only baby, yeah, Omo Pamo on the letter of what's that? Okwen this man you call ma omo PE teacher or on our physical education. Oh, Papa money muno. Na say cry say yes Yera Mahama say on tena dem say there be boss person me PE teacher say there when say dey amaju ofuna ma. Nti on say na funu say dey no Yera Mahama de pin wom kakra say na funu dwo na adwo na so tia na eti. What is say obepe president ni bi adi. Mon kan chene say ye twen no. Moka is a minimum of 15,000 workers now. Pamo womo ya no without any comfortable reason, any reason behind it. No, almost more chain. I Julius Debra. I don't know how I make an on the ticket of the chief of staff. Yeah, pamo nipa 15,000. All because NPP. You are Dr. Baumia Adaroman here for Omojuma. It's a pamo so monko tenefi. Na Yera Mahama say Pamos uncle for no no what ma create jobs for 1 million people and I me say what me create a for 1 million people the band say now Pamo uncle for 15,000 me pacho yeah the analysis na yeah say the analysis you put my analysis or comment section what they am in fact we put share my Yera Mahama my ko how not touch her but say we present or tie 2 kwan ade it mo share my no me cheche mo nche say to me create adwan ma nipa 1 million there e ban say no pamo nipa 15,000 that same year. Is this the country that we all dream to build? It's your mind na your person a building or mind your person ko nanim enie. Oh already yankopo isi be hwe oma. Now with the I know the I know what any so in. You see, what's Yera Mahama saying? And in some manner, Yera Mahama kind of parliament house. I was seeing gume. Because that should be as in Chilima no bebusa. Me dream choir and say Yera Mahama and any generation come before such church and say mo in Chilima. 24-hour economy. Sanitary pad. Hey, sanitary pad the can some home. You better become once a matching. In Chobo government, kill netaban. Is this the country that, or is it the nation that you are John Dramani Mahama was saying boss of a building ana? Me pacho me de me busa. If we say adwuma instead of me kind no station there more viewers and more there. Yeah, na ma fine say me som tie ma som for. It's the question about me say mo boy na ye mbobo ho mesre mo. Mo boy ni mbobo ho. Ira Mahama say we're creating 1 million jobs for Ghanaians. Me pacho 1 million jobs pacho oba no wenye bia ya na. Wo fa ase na do de ko free senior high school no. Wo fa ase na oba no na unua bi ba no a Ira Dr. Baumia de ko free secondary school no. Me pacho 1 million jobs wenye bia ya na. Ni yebu say Ira Mahama. This year ya NDC foot soldiers Ekotugu National Health Insurance Office so omanya appointment to want to office him. It's here Mahama say to me create 1 million jobs. Eba ne saying afa their foot soldiers at TSC various offices to office him so omanya appointment. Yentiasi. It's 1 million jobs na here Mahama create mine and then the galam say na atia te say Ghana mayimu ya na. Me pacho a quick message. One cancer Dr. Frank Amwakon Hene say Ashanti region minister is not for the joke. Mon cancer say Ashanti regional ministry position is not for the weak. Onum say won't minya wonja nsi ho. So onum say won't minya wonja nsi ho. Before omu nyina ka ho bi na normal age ansem wa besi sabre yo. Omu nyina omu ka ho bi. But at the right time ye ba be ka ho asem. Atiefo 1 million jobs. Okay? The only person that minimum so mutimi create 1 million jobs under their ruling. Hey, Ira, Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia time. They created over 1 million jobs, and they didn't just create the jobs, so they came out with references about over 33 policies. And I stand to be corrected, including drone systems to a lot of things. Ombaka say create 1 million jobs no. Ira Bawumia is also a digital man. It's also a man with vision, mind with science and data. He came out to tell you say, "Me creating 1 million jobs, over 1 million jobs through these various areas." Ira Mahama, I see through Ghana Statistical Service say, creating 1 million jobs. That one alone is not enough evidence. Me busa NDC for no, they should come out with a single life-saving policy. Modiaba etima fan crofo dwuma mo meka nkyerɛn ade o matima yan say o ma change Kutuka International Airport to a different name. Ade o matima yan say nurses for mo so mu ntwa mo ka kill government. Ade o matima yan say teachers for mo say o ma allowance am fan ba mo kill government. And a cocoa farmers haircut. That is what they are known for. Hey, I can't about doom so. Asa Yira Mahama Mamun ice articulator, who dear Nimo I am say, who dear Chess I am say, cause him. A course on Nam Punkum now break any a radigim Sani dinam. It's a brebe and a Yira Mahama to be creating 1 million jobs in the Magana for Mentias here. Me pacho Muncha Majemaye, mo comments in the Baba kind. It be an munim babia 1 million jobs in the war. Me pacho you see him. Minimum for massa or my benefit from 1 million jobs. But see who if say it is a so come ding. You're a Mahama Memo by Yen foul be edgement. Yen foul be edgement. Yen foul be edgement. Or mamma when a friend a radigime government. Udi anymore yasem, Udi a chair yasem. Unemployment route are costro, and that is what they are known for. It's 1 million jobs no more debano. Me patron me come back market an area. Market you many me say Ramahama say a half and 1 million jobs in the war. A half omo pebia a half and a war. You Ramahama what's the main Kai will say it be a 1 million jobs in doom so be a wire they are fine. If you buy doom so the why ya the papa. You see about no pan 9 a.m. and near doom lights. About 4 p.m. near doom lights. 1 a.m. near doom lights. 491. Ejuma na sahani econo doom so calculations. So almost 1 million jobs in doom so and disappointments they are fine. Now 1 million jobs in deba they are digital training na say deba they are you Ramahama. Now my momo come by mo left from right till now. Most dollar ko from. And so first, kwa na ekosoro. Dollar ko from. And so aboso kan spare parts dealers. Omo normal kwa na ekosoro. Yura mahama. At this point, yenti me defend you. From baby I'm there, me dem assume me viewers. Say by me viewers bet me defend you there, me patch omo gan defend no my. If we say Nigeria 40 same way e ya we ho se magana man. South Africa 40 same way e ya nunku was same for our democracy. If we say Yura Mahama ya fine say we are on serious. Me de be end no Yura. E de bibia to ncha hwe. Me mentan Nemum the reason I mean to minji wa mamoni ndi ne enkofo mo ban wonti a Yura. Omo suro, omo so omo hu so wuye Nebukadnezar. Eti omo ka no kora kire wa ebia na wani anje ho obeje omo tumi afiri omo nsam nti omo ye ofamfuli na na yere ho na na nya nkwada omo pia do akọ owom Yura. Oti akra de bia no so air conditioner si so onto light bill onto prepaid onto petrol nti Yura cocoa farmers distress no mukom no nti ase omo faka from Ho to Kumasi, Accra to Kumasi, Accra to Tamale, Accra to Hin. Yura, uno montana bass in him, nkomo na ekoso ne awonte. Yura, da kokoto momo no makola market ni ti nsema ekoso. Ora be ho. Momo ye nya oman. If you say Yura, what did the goodwill of the people diagoro? But let me tell you this gospel truth. The day the people will decide to rebel, you can't stand it. Madam Wasi.
It's an important ritual. At any material point, it makes sense for the president to address the nation. Essentially, it's an aggregation of major activities that have transpired over the last 1 year. And then also the president more or less sort of giving us a picture of what he expects to achieve within the next year ahead. And that's where usually subsequent to that the budget will follow, etc. So it's a good exercise. In fact, the Constitution enjoins the president to do so, and communicating to the people the state of affairs is something that we must definitely cherish and encourage. But I think it begs to the question really is, what do we ultimately gain out of it? Are we even having a barometer to measure the promises and the talks to ultimately what we've been able to achieve? But I think it's a growing process. Ghana is still an emerging economy, a growing democracy, so things will definitely play out in the longest time. But once I'm a politician, I think I also want to discuss the political bit of it. I want to see the president's comment on living standards. I think over the last 1 year, we've been hoodwinked to believe that the dollar is down, that inflation is down. Of course, the data says so. I mean, if you look at inflation, Al-Hassan, as statistics is telling us, is 3.8. Interestingly, the Minister of Trade tells us, or she tells traders to reduce their goods and services. So you ask yourself, where did Al-Hassan get the data from? If the Minister of Trade, yesterday another member of Parliament, a Kotia member of Parliament, I think yesterday or 2 days ago, was also crying the same cry, basically saying that traders should reduce the prices of goods and services. But it is that same prices of goods and services that Al-Hassan at Ghana Statistical Service is using to calculate the inflation. So what data is Al-Hassan using? That your minister is crying, your MPs are crying, yet your data is saying that inflation is 3.8. Doesn't make sense. But that's a reflection of the true reality, what Ghanaians are going through. Because even though inflation says 3.8, of course we know inflation measures the rate of change, the rate at which prices are changing. Of course we know. But the ordinary Ghanaian is feeling the pinch. is feeling the pinch. I buy yogurt at East Legon, one of the popular yogurt stands in East Legon. And they've increased it from 45 cedis to 50 cedis. 11% increment. That dollar is supposed to be down. Everything is supposed to be down. You go to the market, things continue to increase, sometimes higher than the inflation rate.
Imported goods or goods produced locally?
Both. In fact, some imported goods, to be fair, in some instances you see some decline. But then for some reason, some of them, they are rather increasing. But that's largely about predictability and the belief of the trader that is the dollar-CD relationship going to remain the same. That's predictability. So that's a different conversation altogether. But the bottom line is that goods and services, price of goods and services continue to increase. The president, since coming to office, has increased electricity by 27% in 1 year, water by 20%. Sustainability tax is an additional tax the government charges, especially companies, manufacturing companies and mining companies. They've increased it by 2% and extended the sunset clause from 2025 to 2028. The production companies will pass it on to you and I.
Even the fuel prices are also down, and that also has a major effect on.
Of course, no problem. Fuel prices have come down. Of course, if you look at the two build-ups, which is the currency, the dollar, and then also the world price. World prices have come down. Crude prices have come down about $60 per barrel. Our time, in 2022 March, it went all the way from $66 per barrel in February 2022 to $120 per barrel in March 2022. In a month, it doubled. So now, because of that shock, both OPEC and non-OPEC countries have ramped up production. There's enough production in the system. Demand far, supply far outstrips demand, so the prices have come down. And that's the pass-through for us. We are seeing declining. But even recently, there was a small jump, so the prices changed. Okay. But the point that I'm making to you, I expect the president to address the nation on the incongruent relationship between the supposed indicators and the real pocket impact. It's incongruent. They don't match. Your indicators are performing, but my pocket, okay. So we need the president to explain to us his plan to match his economic policies to the real living standard of the people.
Did you expect it to reflect in a year and, let's say, 2 months?
Why not? They said about Papa, but why? You want to look, the president has 4 years, so let's not forget. Ghana constitutionally mandates the president for 4 years. So every day counts. Every single day counts. So it's not about much more a year and 3 months. It must count for something. And they are bragging that about Papa